issues that we can't change quickly as we'd like to, as we need to.
So what I'm going to teach you today is the follow-up process that you've probably already heard about a couple times watching these videos and being involved in the company so far. The follow-up process is really just how we keep someone going along the pipeline of learning and growing in their understanding of what this is until they can make a decision whether this is right for them or not what they want to do, right? And yes or no, either response is great, but this is just how we get people to a decision if they can't decide on their first exposure. And the first thing to write down in your notes is that the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Why do I say that? Because of this, and write this down as well. It takes the average person 5 to 8 exposures for them to get started. So it takes 5 to 8 exposures to get the average person started. And that might be why in the past you haven't gotten people started after doing all these exposures, because you're not doing this follow-up process. So if you learn this is what professionals learn to make a professional income in this industry, because they know if they follow up long enough and they get someone between that sweet spot of 5 to 8 exposures, they will make a decision whether this is right for them or not. And that's what we want. Again, we're decision sorters in this business. Yeses and nos, never a maybe. And one way to make sure that you always get a yes or a no is go through this follow-up process. So the fortunes in the follow-up takes 5 to 8 exposures. And what it really is keeping people excited and keeping them learning, the information until they can come to a decision. It's like the campfire effect that we talked about in the attitude video that you watched a while back. Right? When you're with your friends and you're around the fire and you're having a good time, as soon as you go to your tent to change or to grab something out of your tent, you start to get cold. You start to forget what it feels like to be warm. And that's the same thing with this. When they're on the exposure, they're with your upline, they're talking to you about this, they're excited to live a life we're talking about. They're interested in what we're doing, but as soon as they get off, life hits them again. They get busy, people are negative, there's all these other things going on. Fear comes in. And so the follow-up process keeps them excited. It's like keeping someone close to that campfire, keeps them warm. So there's 4 simple steps in this follow-up process. Number 1 happens while you're still on the call. While you're still on the call, you want to set the next exposure if they're not ready to get started. So maybe you've gone through your upline, you've gone through the closing process, and they have an objection that needs to be handled, or they don't have the money yet, or whatever it might be. You want to set up the next exposure within the next couple days for them to hear about this again. And you want to set it up with a date and time and get it concrete. If for some reason they're like, well, I'll just let you know, man, we'll figure it out. Leverage being busy and that they're busy too. What I always say if someone's like, well, we'll figure it out in a couple days, or I'll let you know. What I always say is, hey man, honestly, I know that you're busy and I'm busy as well. So I think it would work best for us to just figure it out right now. That way we have it in our calendars. And so from there, set a time, a date and a time for them to get on another exposure. Now, these are some things that you can use for the next exposure. Number 1, you can leverage them hearing someone else's story, a new story. And that could be either getting on a 2-on-1 or meeting up with them and FaceTiming a different upline, hearing a new person's story, or getting on one of our opportunity calls that are happening throughout the week where they can just listen in. They don't have to interact, but hear, one of the leaders in this business tell their story and what we're doing with Watabu to not just them, but hundreds of other people at the same time. The second thing that you can use as a follow-up would be to just get them in front of the same upline. Hey man, I'll send you a couple videos so you can, think about some more questions, figure out whether you want to do this or not, and let's get reconnected with so-and-so so you can ask him any other questions and sort of we can go from there, help you figure out whether this is right for you or not. And then the last one is, you can plug them in, and I use this as a last resort, but you can plug them into like one of the team calls, the Monday mentorship call, or the Sunday, Elite Network team call. And what you can leverage is, hey man, I know that you're ready, you're gonna be able to get started. I'm so excited for you. But until you can get started, what I'd love to have you do is hop on this call at this time and get an inside look, because these are the calls that we do throughout the week with our team. And this is what you're gonna be able to look forward to in the future once you do get started, as a way to learn, grow, and develop, not only in the business, but as a person as well. So you can leverage them getting on one of our calls throughout the week so they can get a peek at the culture that they're about to get started with. The second step happens once you get off the call. So once you've set up the next exposure, you know it's gonna happen in a day or two or tomorrow or next week, right? Obviously professionals, they condense exposures as close as possible because it takes 5 to 8. They wanna do as many as possible in the shortest amount of time. But regardless, the second step is after the call, you wanna throw them in a group text with the upline they were just talking to. You know, if I have my friend talking to my upline, right after I'm gonna throw him in a group text. Hey man, this is my friend so-and-so. So glad you were able to meet him. I just wanna give you his number so that if you have any other questions, you can get connected with him. Number one, it gives them more of a feeling of support. It wasn't just a random person, you know, on like a FaceTime or something, and now that person's just gone. They were just trying to sell them. Now your upline can help you build a relationship with that person. And also, again, if that person has questions that you can't answer, they can ask it in that group text where not only they have access to your upline, but you can observe how your upline goes about that so you can apply it in the future. So step 2, again, is set up that group text with your upline and your friend. The third step is, connect your friend with your upline's social media. Get them connected to our Facebook, to most importantly our Instagram, because when you go to the leaders in this business, you go to their Instagram, what do you see? You see the lifestyle, you see the posts, you see, the culture. And what this does is it creates a natural follow-up for your friend during the week. When they're scrolling through social media, doing what they're always doing, they're gonna start seeing our posts. They're gonna see the way we talk, the way we live, and they're like, man, dude, that's really cool. Oh wait, that's the guy I met. That's what my friend's doing, that Watabu thing. Oh yeah, and it's gonna continue to keep them excited, like we talked about, the point of the follow-up process. And the last thing for you to do in this follow-up process is to leverage videos in between each exposure. So say, I expose you on a Monday and, I wanna get you on the team call on Wednesday to get a peek of the culture like I talked about. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the follow-up playlist on the Elite Network on this YouTube channel, the Elite Network YouTube channel, and I'm gonna use that follow-up playlist to continue to paint the vision of the culture and what we're doing and to get you educated. And so what you wanna do is every day between your follow-ups, send your friend a video. Keep them excited. I'll send someone a video and be like, dude, aren't you excited to live like this? They watch the video like, yeah, man, I can't wait till I can get started, if they're like working on the money or something, right? What I lead with though, so this is the first day and I never have someone, get on the next exposure without seeing these 2 videos, right? Because it really paints, number 1, a really great picture of our culture and where we're going, and number 2, a great description of our compensation plan and how you get paid. So the first day between exposures for me, what I send people is the Devin Supertramp My Life Sucks 2015 video. Why? Because it shows such a great, visual of where our adventures are going, all the crazy things we're gonna be doing in the next couple years. And secondly, I send them the 5-step plan that really describes how we get paid in this company. So again, first, between every exposure, you should at least be sending them the Devin Supertramp video partnered with the 5-step plan video, showing them how we get paid so that they can feel like they're learning more, and it also gets that vision that will get them more excited. And then from there, look through that follow-up playlist. Figure out what you think would be best for them and send them a video a day just to keep them excited, keep them thinking, keep them dreaming. And if they're working towards the money, this is such a great motivation factor. So again, step number 1, while you're on the call, set up the next exposure, date and time. Number 2, once you get off the call, set up a group text with your upline. Step 3, once you've got that group text going on, connect them to your upline's social media. And step 4, leverage videos from the follow-up playlist on this YouTube channel in between exposures. And so now that you've watched this video, now that you've taken notes, a couple action steps. Make sure you write down this process word for word. Write down all of these steps that I've given you. Then look over the follow-up playlist. Find out the videos that you like, that you think your friends would enjoy the most and get the most out of. And then lastly, get in contact with your upline and teach them this process. And once you can teach it, you can apply it.